Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Faizan. I'm going to start a series of lectures. Hopefully, I'll complete that series. This series of lectures is going to be for quant section. I'm going to cover starting from IPMAT and I'll see how it goes. So, today, the first lecture that I'm going to record is going to be from algebra. The topic is sequence and series. So this is going to be like 30 minutes video, approximately 30 minutes. All right. What I'm going to try and teach in today's session would be that we understand the basic concepts first. So what are those basic concepts? The basic concepts are what we known as AP, arithmetic progression, GP, geometric progression, and HP is harmonic progression. Usually it's not needed. These two are mostly in focus when it comes to exams and so on. So we're going to first start with the very basic concepts and understand what it really means to identify what a series is. And then we start from there. So we'll get started. You can always pause this video at any point in time, especially when there are questions, but I will be writing them as well. So we'll start first with arithmetic progression. All right, so uh, all of you who are listening to this, let us first understand what is the meaning of sequence and what is the meaning of series. So usually what happens is that sequence and series, this is the name. This is like a progression. It's like a number which is progressing in an arithmetic fashion. All right. You will get to know the difference between sequence and series in the next session of the same topic that I discontinue. But I'll leave that to you so that you think yourself, what is the difference between sequence and series before, and then you figure out. You just try and think a little bit what sequence means and what series means. Okay, let us start with some sequence of numbers. So let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what we have here is that we have six different numbers, but they have a certain sequence that is being followed. What is sequence being followed? Let us understand that. So I think the sequence being followed, as you can see, if you compare the numbers, this is plus 2, and this is again plus 2, and this is again plus 2, and so on. So this means that what is happening here is that to go to the next number, you're just adding a 2, that's it. Which means if I ask you, okay, tell me what is the number after 12, you'll say, oh, hey, it's 14. Tell me the number what is going to come after 14, you'll say, hey, it's 16, hey, it's 18, and so on. So that's how you can make up the numbers. Okay, what else? So if you look at this sequence of numbers, the first term is 2. We call this as the first term. So what is the first term? The first term is actually 2 because that is the beginning part. And there is a formula for the first term. No, not the formula, sorry. There is a name for the first term. We call it A. So we'll say A is equals to 2. What is A? It's like it is a commonly used symbol for the first term in an AP. Okay. This is A and this is 2. Now, can I also tell you that there is a formula for the last term? How can you find out the last term? You can say A plus N minus 1D. So this is the formula for the last term. Now we know what is A. A is what? 2. N minus 1 and D. What is this N and what is this D? Let us understand. So for finding out N and for finding out D, what you have to do is go back to the series. So this is the series. This प्लस टू जो मैं बोल रहा था पहले, ये प्लस टू क्या, इसी को हम कहते हैं कॉमन डिफरेंस. ठीक है, इसी को हम कहेंगे कॉमन डिफरेंस. तो जैसे कि नाम बताता है, इट्स अ डिफरेंस ऑफ टू नंबर्स। तो जो डिफरेंस ऑफ टू नंबर्स होगा और वो कंसिस्टेंट भी है, अगर आप चेक करो 8 से 10 के बीच में, या आप चेक करो 12 से 14 के बीच में, वो कंसिस्टेंसी आपको दिखेगी। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि दिस दिस जो ये जो 2 + 2 है, ये क्या है, ये कॉमन डिफरेंस है। ठीक है। अच्छा, अब अगर ये हमें कॉमन डिफरेंस मिल गया है, तो आई कैन नाउ सब्स्टिट्यूट दिस इन द फॉर्मूला। आई कैन से ओके, दिस डी इज व्हाट, दिस इज 2। अब ये n क्या चीज है? सो n इज नोन एज द नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स, इज द नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स। ठीक है। तो नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स भी आसान है निकालना। अगर आप देखोगे, अगर आप वापस से इस सीरीज में जाओगे तो आप देखोगे 2 4 6 8, इसको आप काउंट करो। इफ यू काउंट देम 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, देर आर 9 टर्म्स, देर आर 9 नंबर्स, तो देर आर 9 टर्म्स सो फार। ठीक है। तो अभी हमारे हमारे पास क्या मिल गया, हमें 9 टर्म्स मिल गए। अब जब हमें 9 टर्म्स मिल गए हैं, तो एक और चीज मेरे दिमाग में आ रही है, वो ये कि हम लास्ट टर्म जो कि 18 है, बिना अगर हमें 16 ना पता होता, या अगर मैं बोलूँ 20 टर्म बताओ, 20th टर्म क्या होगा, तो उसके लिए व्हाट विल यू डू? उसके लिए आप ये फॉर्मूला यूज करोगे। ठीक है। सो लेट अस से इफ आई आस्क यू, हे लेट n बी 20, इसका मतलब कि आई एम लुकिंग एट 20 टर्म्स एंड फाइंड आउट द nth टर्म। So it is no problem. You can always use this formula for nth term also. तो ये फॉर्मूला के दो काम, ये जो फॉर्मूला a + n - 1d, इसके this can be used for two things. One is to find out the last term, and the second thing is to find out the nth term. तो अभी हम देखते हैं कि हम लास्ट टर्म कैसे निकाल सकते हैं। तो अगर लास्ट टर्म निकालना है तो हम कहेंगे a + n - 1d। ठीक है। और अगर आपने ये फिर वो सब्स्टिट्यूट करा वैल्यूज, तो यू विल गेट a + 20 ठीक है। Now what happens? Let's see. So what is 2 + 20 - 1d? It is 2 + 19, and the value of d we had found out. I think that was around, no, not around. That is 2. This becomes 2 + 38. Okay. Add them. See what you get. You will get 2 + 38, which is 40. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि आपने जो 20th टर्म निकालना था, वो आपने निकाल लिया। And how you got that 20th term? Basically, you got that 20th term from the formula a + n - 1d. Okay, that formula has given you what? That formula has given you the number 40, which means if you go back to this series and you keep on extending it, तो जो 20वां टर्म होगा उसकी वैल्यू 40 होगी। ठीक है। तो ये आपका अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन हुई है। टेक ए मोमेंट, इफ यू वांट टू राइट समथिंग, यू मे राइट इट। ओके, अब आगे बढ़ते हैं। ठीक है। नाउ वी हैव सीन, what you have seen is arithmetic progression। ठीक है। अभी जो हमने देखा है, वो हमने देखा है अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन। अब ये जो हमने अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन देख लिया है, इससे हम कोई भी हमें अगर टर्म्स मिलेगा तो हम उसको वो कर सकते हैं। ठीक है। अब मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि मैं आपको थोड़ा सा इसके एप्लीकेशन के बारे में भी बताऊँ। तो अगर हम थोड़ी सी एप्लीकेशन के बारे में देखते हैं। देखो, वो जो सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स है, 2 4 6 8 10 12, ये सारे नंबर्स, दिस नंबर्स आर पॉजिटिव इन नेचर। ठीक है। तो यू कैन आस्क मी, सर व्हाट हैपेंस इफ द नंबर्स आर नॉट पॉजिटिव? हाउ डू यू नो if they are AP or not AP? So suppose -2, -4, -6, -8, are these also AP? सर आप, यू कैन आस्क मी। सो सर आप ये बताओ कि ये नेगेटिव नंबर्स AP है कि नहीं है? तो यस, दे आर ऑल्सो इन AP। तो द क्वेश्चन इज कि आप आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करोगे। आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि आप जो नंबर्स के बारे में सोच रहे हो कि वो कौन सा प्रोग्रेशन है, हाउ डू यू आइडेंटिफाई। सो द सिंपल टर्म इज द आइडिया ऑफ कॉमन डिफरेंस। ठीक है, द आइडिया ऑफ कॉमन डिफरेंस। देखो यार, अगर कॉमन डिफरेंस, ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स हु आर लिसनिंग, ऑल द लर्नर्स, अगर आप कॉमन डिफरेंस फाइंड आउट करोगे तो इस केस में कॉमन डिफरेंस अगेन इज कमिंग आउट टू बी -2। ये जो सीरीज है, इस सीरीज को आप देखो, इसमें जो कॉमन डिफरेंस आपको समझ में आएगा वो आएगा -2। ठीक है, अब अगर कॉमन डिफरेंस -2 है, then you have to check, is this common difference same across extension of this series like -12, -14। क्या ये कॉमन डिफरेंस सेम है या नहीं है, आपको ये चेक करना है। तो यस, द कॉमन डिफरेंस इज सेम। ठीक है, तो दिस इज अ गुड इंडिकेशन। तो ये आपको इंडिकेट करता है कि आप जो चेक कर रहे हो कि ये एपी है कि ये एपी नहीं है। तो यस, दिस इज इन एपी बिकॉज द कॉमन डिफरेंस इज सॉर्ट ऑफ सेम। कॉमन डिफरेंस इज सॉर्ट ऑफ सेम, सो यस दे आर इन एपी। ठीक है, अब आगे बढ़ते हैं। अगर ये एपी में है क्योंकि कॉमन डिफरेंस सेम है, तो क्या हम जो ए के बारे में हमने बात करा था कि ये ए में आप फर्स्ट टर्म और फिर एक फॉर्मूला था लास्ट टर्म का, क्या वो सब भी एप्लीकेबल होगा? यस, दे आर ऑल्सो एप्लीकेबल। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन दिस सीरीज आई कैन आस्क यू, हे प्लीज फाइंड आउट व्हाट इज द 10th टर्म। ठीक है, सो यू कैन यूज द फॉर्मूला फॉर द लास्ट टर्म क्या था? ए प्लस n-1 t। चलो ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। अब मैं आपको एक सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स के बारे में बताऊंगा, और ये सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स में नेगेटिव नंबर्स भी है और पॉजिटिव नंबर्स भी है। तो शुरू करते हैं। जैसे एक नंबर ऑफ -5 से हम स्टार्ट करेंगे, फिर 0, फिर 5, फिर 10, 15 और 20। Now you have to tell me that is this series of numbers, is this an AP? You have to tell me that is this an AP or not. So let us see. If you want to test whether any number is AP or not, you have to go back to the idea of common difference. ठीक है, कॉमन डिफरेंस या तो पॉजिटिव हो या फिर नेगेटिव हो, वो चलेगा, लेकिन वो जो भी होगा, that has to be like same across the numbers. It has to be consistent. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If it is consistent, even if it is positive or even if it is negative, it will work. So in this case, is the common difference is what? Common difference is 5. Then I will ask you, is this same across the number series? Is this same? Yes. If it is same, then yes, I can say that the above thing is in AP. Okay. Yes, that is in AP. अब एक चीज देखना, मैंने आपको इस सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स में आई हैव गिवन अ यूनिक थिंग टू यू। व्हाट इज द यूनिक थिंग? इट्स अ जीरो। अब ये जीरो, व्हाट इज दिस जीरो? राइट, व्हाट इज दिस जीरो? अगर हम कॉमन डिफरेंस की बात करें तो कॉमन डिफरेंस तो 5 है, पर ये जो सेकेंड टर्म है ये जीरो है। अब वाई व्हाट इज सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ जीरो? So in an AP, whenever there is a series of numbers which goes from negative to positive, then in the middle term, there has to be a zero, like in this case. I'll give you, maybe I could have extended it and so on. I still have this zero because the numbers are going from -10, -5, and then 0, and then again 5, and so on, right? So this 0 is still there. Now, what is the significance of this 0? इसमें एक एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन बनता है। One application based question that comes in this, I'll tell you what is that application based question. So one of the application based questions that that do come in this type of questions is this is an AP, but they may ask you what is the sum of the first four terms. Okay. Now, if you look at this question, what is the sum of the first four terms? Question to hame, this is what the question is asking. What is sum of the first four terms? Now, if you look at the first four terms, it is -10, -5, 0, and 5. Now, how do you know that you have to add all the four terms? You don't really have to add all the terms because one of the terms is 0. So what happens is if one of the terms is 0, that means that the terms which are to the left of 0, मतलब जो 0 के left में और जो 0 के right में हो, they will basically get nullified. तो ये जो -5 था, अगर आप इसको ऐड करोगे 5 के साथ तो वो फिर नलीफाई हो जाएगा, तो इसका आंसर तो -10 ही रह जाएगा, -10. ठीक है, प्लीज चेक दिस वंस अगेन. यू मे हैव अ लुक एट दिस सीरीज ऑफ नंबर्स. Yeah, you have a look at this series of numbers and then look at the question. The question was asking you what is the sum of the first four terms. So the answer is that the sum of the first four terms is -10. Okay. Now, if the sum of the first four terms is now known to you, it's -10. The same thing can be asked in a different way. What is that? Let me tell you. So if I tell you that there is sort of a series of numbers starting from -27, then -24, -21, -18. This goes up to 81, let's say. It's a random question that I've created. Now, the question will, it's an application. The question will ask you how many terms in the series. Okay. And sum of all the terms in the series. So these are the two things which will be asked in the questions. The first thing is how many terms in the series. The series is given to you. It is starting from -27, and then as you start from -27, it sort of goes up to -24, -21, -18, continues and continues, and goes up to 81. So you have to answer how many terms in the series. Now, this is an indirect question. I mean, I have not given you a direct formula for answering this question about how many terms in the series. So you'll have to use one formula that was given to you, and you'll have to apply it. So the formula is A plus N minus 1D. It's an application of this formula, not a direct formula. So this is your hint. Take a moment, pause the question, and see if you can get the answer. Okay, wonderful. If you have got this answer, I have a lot of appreciation for you. Let me now tell you that you have to answer one more question. What is sum of all the terms? So, sum of all the terms, something that we just discussed. Figure out where the zero lies. Take a moment, pause the question, and answer it. All right. So I'll now tell you how to answer these questions. So for the first question, how many terms in the series? I'm going to use this formula A plus N minus 1D. And this formula was originally for finding out the last term, but I'm going to use this formula to be able to find out the number of terms in the series. Okay. Now, how do you find out the number of terms in the series using this formula? You start with the first term, which is minus 27. So that is what A जो हमने discuss करा पहले. Oh, the number of terms n, this is not known to me. And this is beautiful. This is good, right? If it is not known to me, then I can find it out, right? Because I know this, I know D. एक ही बचा ना variable. Unknown क्या है? N एक मुझे last term पता है. I know A, so unknown is what? N. That means it is something that I can find out. So minus 27 plus n minus 1 and d क्या है? Common difference. तो आपको निकालना पड़ेगा. You find out what is d. So that is coming out to be, I think, 3 or minus 3. No, plus 3. And what is the last term? Look at this last term. It's 81. So you have the beautiful equation. You have the beautiful equation. Please solve this equation and you can get the answer. Take a moment, solve this equation, you can get the answer. I'm not going to tell you what is the value of n. Maybe I can do one more step because this is how my teachers taught me. They did not solve the question completely while I was taking. So this is minus 27. This will go on this side. It will become n minus 1 into 3 is equals to 108. And then you can find out the value of n. Okay. All right, wonderful, wonderful. So now what I can do is I can go on and this is you can have a screenshot or you can note it. And now I can go on to the next part. The next part was talking about, go to the next part, yeah. The next part is sum of all the terms in the series. Now you start with this term and then you go on till 81. What is the sum of all the terms? Okay. So sum of all the terms in the series. देखो हमने स्टार्ट किया -27 से, फिर -24 आया, फिर -21 आया. इस तरह करते 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 we came up to 81. Now my question to you is, where do you think zero comes? Where do you think zero comes? You will say zero comes here in between. You are right. You are right. Zero comes in between. But my friend, what is the term? What is the term in which zero comes? What is the term in which zero comes? इसके लिए तो मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, तो करते हैं. So you start from -27, you go to -24, -21, and so on. एक तरीका ये है कि you do it just by counting. The other way is you use the formula. If you use the formula, then this will become, what is the term, right? So n निकालना है, a plus n minus 1. n क्या है मुझे निकालना है, n minus 1, और d है 3. आप इसको यूज करो, यू विल गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ n. और ये जो n है हमने इक्वेट किससे करा है? जीरो से. तो मतलब जो ये फॉर्मूला है इसमें हम अभी nth टर्म निकाल रहे हैं. ठीक है, आई रिपीट, दिस फॉर्मूला इज यूजफुल फॉर टू थिंग्स, a plus n minus 1d. ठीक है, इट्स यूजफुल फॉर टू थिंग्स. The first thing is that you can actually figure out the last term. The second thing is that you can figure out the nth term. Okay. तो n टर्म निकालते हैं. इसको अगर आप सॉल्व करोगे तो you'll get -27 plus n minus 1 into 3. And then when you are able to solve this further, what you will get is, I believe 27 is equals to 3 n minus 1. And therefore now n minus 1 is equals to 9. Therefore n is equals to 10. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि the 10th term is the term which has 0. Which term has 0? You will say the 10th term is the term which has 0. Okay. Go back to the question. This was a beautiful question. And see where 0 came and see how I was able to solve it. I'll take a moment for you to pause. And if you're writing, have a look at what you've done so far. And I'll also give you a quick recap. So please take a moment to pause. Okay. So in this question, we were asked two questions. The first question was कि how many terms are there in the series, and the second question was sum of all the terms in the series. Okay, हमने जीरो निकाला है. तो जीरो कौन सा टर्म था? 10th टर्म था. यहाँ पे जीरो आएगा. तो जीरो के बाद एक टर्म 27 भी आएगा. ये भी मेरे ख्याल से अगर जीरो 10th टर्म है तो ये जो 27 है, यहाँ तक ये सारे सम जीरो हो जाएंगे. और therefore you only have to add the remaining part. So which means that you have to add from 30 to 81. You have to add from 30 to 81. Sum of all the terms in a series. So there is a formula, direct formula also for this, which I will tell you shortly. And but actually, let me tell you that formula, and then I can give you a quick recap. That is what. All right. So what is the question? Question ने बोला कि हम 27 तक पहुंच गए. अब 27 से 81 तक का अगर हम सम करेंगे, so what we will get is we will get the sum of all the terms. No, not 27, because we this all this will get cancelled out. Minus 27 से plus 27 cancelled out. 27 से पहले 24 आएगा, यहाँ minus 24 आएगा, cancelled out. Remember, you are adding. When you are adding in an AP, the negative terms and the positive terms will cancel out. So what is the sum now? You start from 30 and then 33, 36. अब you cannot count it manually. Manually count करना is not easy. तो उसके लिए एक फॉर्मूला बनाया हम लोगों ने, मतलब मैथमेटिशियंस ने. So what is the formula? Let's see. The formula tells you that sum of all the terms in an AP is given by this formula, which is A plus A is what? A is the first term and the last term. Last term is A plus n minus 1D. First term by last term divide by 2 into the number of terms. या इसको हम इस तरह भी लिखते हैं. अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करोगे, ये हो जाएगा 2A plus n minus 1 into D by 2, और यहाँ पे n हो जाएगा बाहर. ठीक है. तो ये दिस इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर सम ऑफ all the terms. ठीक है. I would request you please note down this formula. It's a formula that is useful for figuring out the sum of all the terms in the case of an AP. Very useful formula. You have to use this formula to figure out sum of all the terms, and then in the future you will use it for application-based questions. This formula is derived from an idea called first term. This is the first term plus last term. उसका हाफ करेंगे तो एक मीडियन टर्म आता है, जिसको हम मीडियन टर्म बोलते हैं, मीडियन. बिकॉज इसके बारे में बाद में बात करेंगे. अभी के लिए आप फॉर्मूला वो कर लो, और फिर नंबर ऑफ टर्म से हम मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. ठीक है. तो आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो अगर ये हमारे पास फॉर्मूला आ गया, how can we use this formula to find out in this question? The question was that you have to start from 30 and then you have to go up to the terms of 81, and in the process add all the terms. How can we use that? देखो, अब आपकी जो नई जो आपकी सीरीज है ना, ये तो कैंसिल आउट हो गए. तो दिस विल बी योर फर्स्ट टर्म and this will be your last term. Common difference you know is 3. We call it D is 3. नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स आप निकाल सकते हो. लास्ट टर्म आपको पता है, तो नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स निकल आएंगे. मैं डायरेक्टली बता देता हूँ कि नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स इज गोइंग टू बी, देखो ये 10th, अगर आप 30 है, 30 से आपको 81 तक जाना है, तो आप कितनी दफा ये वो करोगे? तो दिस विल बी, यू आर गोइंग फ्रॉम 10 का मल्टीपल ऑफ 3 टू 27. दिस इज नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स आर 18 हियर. ओके, नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स आर 18 हियर. ये यहाँ तक मैंने आई डिड इट डायरेक्टली, बट you can verify this as well. So you have got 18 terms. Okay, this is the 10th term and this is the 27th term. You're adding, you're interested in figuring out the number of terms. तो मैंने क्या करा, मैंने 10 से लेके 27 तक सबको काउंट कर लिया. तो 17 plus 1 मैंने किया. That's it. 17 plus 1 because it's the difference between the last term and the first term, number the nth term, and then just add 1. ओके, आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो हमें n पता चलेगा 18, What is A? A we know is 30. What is N again? It's again 18. And what is D? It's 3, then divide by 2. I'm going to solve it for you and see what is the answer. So what is 2 into 30? It's going to be 60. 17 into 3, this will become 51. You divide by 2. And then let's see what we get further. 60 plus 51 upon 2, this is what we get. Now, what really is 60 plus 51? This is going to be 100 and, not 21, 111 by 2. And therefore, this is going to be 9, what, 999. Incidentally, I got this answer, but I don't intend this. So have a look at the usage of this formula. How did I use this formula to, which is the formula for finding out the sum of all the terms in an AP. It's a good formula where we discuss the applications also, and it's a good starting point for you to know. Please note this formula as well and see how I have used, how I've brought in the numbers like 30, the first term, the number of terms 18, common difference 3, and then just put it into the formula and got a beautiful answer. Okay, I think we can end this chapter. This not the chapter, but we can end the AP part here. So far, what we have discussed, I'll just do a quick recap. We will do more questions and more application questions, but we've discovered the good ground of fundamentals, basics mostly, formulas and so on, and some examples. So we'll do a quick recap. I started with, I did not tell you what really is the definition of an AP. I gave you direct example, 2468, where you identified, hey, it's like very similar to the previous term. You were adding a 2 and you're getting the next term. तो मैंने बोला कि चलो इसमें first term को A मानते हैं, इसको हम this is 2. Then I told you what is the last term, and I told you that this plus 2 is known as the common difference. Then I also give you the formula for nth term, and I told you that this formula is also useful for the last term, a plus n minus 1d. Same formula can be used in two things. And then I gave you this question where they asked you, is this an AP? Because this question had common difference. No, this is still positive, but had negative terms and also had 0. Okay, this is another question that I gave you where you had negative terms, but the common difference was still positive, but the terms were negative. And we discussed two different questions on this, which is the number of terms, and we also discussed what is the sum of all the terms in the series. Which we basically saw that you can nullify all the terms which are left to 0 and right to 0. And that is how in this question till 27, you saw that all the terms, if you add, the net result is going to be 0. And therefore, you can just finally, we talked about this formula of sum of all terms. And in any series that you get, you can use this formula for finding out sum of all terms. You can make your own series of numbers, use this formula, and you may still get the answer. What I did in this case was that I broke it into two series. The series was starting from minus 27, but actually I started the series from 30. And why I did that is because I want to tell you how to apply as well. And if I'm doing that, then my A will change. And I took my A as 30, right? Use this formula and got the answer. So yeah, I think this is a quick 2-minute recap of what we have done so far. The basic ideas of AP and formulas on what is A, what is D, what is A plus n minus 1D, and lastly this formula of n by 2 2A plus n minus 1D. So wonderful. It was good. I hope you derived some value out of it. I hope to continue, inshallah, and see you again. Thank you for watching.